And good evening, good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you are around the world. I am Marcus Holmes. I am excited to be here with you, the love activist from the Love and Stuff community. Why don't you take a moment and click share and tag someone to join us? Five of your closest Facebook friends, five of your more popular Facebook friends. And if you're watching us on Twitch TV or YouTube events, please click share and tag someone as we're emanating from the Love and Stuff community page. And I hope that if you haven't already gone there, that you will click follow. I wanted to just bring to your attention, of course, the Gratefulness Journey every day is available on Amazon and on Barnes & Noble and Kobo, as well as Little Fires Everywhere, Pandemic Protest, Politics and Power, where our own Reverend Valencia Etner is a co-author. All right. I'm going to get into the topic, but I certainly want you to click share. Just a few folks are coming that are here, and I hope that you will click share so that others will join us. I'm going to get the topic going and pin the topic as well. A U-Haul and Uber, some flowers and a kiss. Feel free to come back and visit every other Sunday and any Wednesday of your choosing. Okay, I'm not so sure, Greg Thomas, what you're telling me, but okay, I don't know. That must be your answer to the question. All right, so we're going to pin the topic in 1 second, Gregory Hall, Thomas. I hope that you will click share and tag some folks to join us uh, in the discussion. All right, so I think should be on. Okay, we are. All right, very good. I'm going to just pin the topic so that we can have the topic here. All right. I got it. Thank you, sir. I'm a slow moving. I'm catching up. I was slow moving on that one, but I'm catching up. All right. So I'm going to pin this topic so that we can have folks join us. That is the topic, sir. And I didn't know you had just come in and started talking on the topic, but I get it. I think I'm catching up. I was slow moving and I apologize. So I'm going to pin the topic first here. If I can pin it here. And I hope that you will click share and just tag someone to join us as we get started. It's nice and rainy here in Northwest Detroit, Michigan, and drop in the comments wherever you are. What is the rain like there? All right, I'm going to drop this in the comments in both places and pin this comment. Let's see, can we pin the comment here? Pin this comment. Okay, I'm pin the comment there, and we will pin the comment on the Marcus R. Homes page as well. Hope you will just click share and have someone join us now. All right, as we are live on Facebook, YouTube events, and a couple of other places, pinning the topic here. All right, give me a second to pin it. Right. All right, we pinned the topic in both places, and we are ready to rock and roll with this topic. And whether you are watching us from the Love and Stuff page or the Marcus R. Homes page, or whether you're watching us from Twitch TV or YouTube events, welcome and thank you for joining us. All right, so I pinned the topic, and I hope those of you that are just joining will click share and tag some folks to join us wherever you are. All right, some folks coming in. As you're coming in, the rain's coming down around me. I don't know where you are, but the rain is coming good. This should be some good sleeping weather. So click share and tag someone to join us in this discussion. All right, just making sure we are okay, all set. Okay, very good. All right. All right, thank you, Brenda Z, for joining us, and others. Click share and tag someone to join us in this discussion. So here is the topic. It is pinned. I'm going to read it through once. And then Gregory Thomas has already jumped in with some commentary, and I hope that you will as well, so that our inbox person will be able to glean some of your perspective. All right. Help me out, Love and Stuff. He says, my wife's parents are like second parents to me. After 5 years of trying, we got pregnant, and my wife was put on bed rest in month 7. We had 4 miscarriages, so we were careful. They were trying to be careful. My mother-in-law, in comes my mother-in-law to the rescue, is what he's saying. She came from quite a distance to stay with us to help me with my wife, and that she did. Cooking, cleaning, caregiving, and I am grateful, he says. God blessed us with a healthy baby boy, but my wife had more downtime than normal. After about 2 months, my wife was getting into the swing of things and back to herself. It's been 3 months and my mother-in-law is still here. So to clarify, the mother-in-law came in month 7, but it's been 3 months since the baby, which means the wife has had a month to kind of get on her feet after those 2 months. I just wanted to clarify that because I was a little unclear myself. Andrea Love, thank you for coming. I hope you will click share and tag someone, get in this conversation. So it's been a little while, okay? After the wife is able to get on her feet, the mother-in-law is still there. Now that my wife can do some things, my mother-in-law kind of switched up, he says. Telling my wife how to mother, unsolicited, he says. Telling me how to cook, clean, and help out. I felt some kind of way and told my wife we need to wind this up, meaning it's time for the mother to go home. Mother in love, I say. He says mother-in-law. The plan was a month or 2. Okay, that was the plan. I even called my father-in-law and he won't tell her to come home. Hope you're hearing that. He's not getting in that, is what the father-in-law said. I cooked a meal before going to work, and when I came home to heat it up, she said it was too salty. And after trying to doctor it up, she threw it out. I don't want to stress my wife, but I told her to tell her mother that she has 2 weeks to go home. My wife said, "You tell her," and burst into tears. He said, "What should I do?" James Arnold has joined us. Please click share. Those of you that have joined, tag someone to join us. What do you do when your mother-in-law has outstayed her welcome? So we're talking about a total of 5 months. That changes my opinion. Okay, yes. So she came toward the end of month 7, and they got almost to, I think I'm giving too much detail, but let's say a total of 4.5 months. Okay. Close to 5. You're right, Gregory. So, and the plan was a month or 2. So the plan was not necessarily that she would have to stay beyond. She would have to stay into bonding time as long as the mother was healthy. But the wife, the daughter, had some complications that made her stay down a little longer, and the mother stayed, of course, longer. This is easy. All right, good. I want to hear from you. All right, and I see James Arnold, Andrea Love, Brenda Z. I'd like to hear from all of you. What do you think that he should do? Because his wife burst, or he says bust, but burst into tears. Telling him, "You tell her." Because after all, this mother-in-law, I'll say, but mother-in-law, came to be of assistance to her daughter who needed some help. And the son was very appreciative for the help at first. He needs to pray, Gregory Thomas says. Pray that God fixes ungrateful, selfish spirit first. All right. I didn't expect that opinion, so I want to hear more from you, Gregory. You say he has an ungrateful, selfish spirit. So should there be a time frame in which I think you do give a mother grace, right? Especially if a couple has been trying for a number of years and experienced miscarriages, and this is going to be their first child. This gives that mother potentially the opportunity to be a grandmother for the first time, right? And so I think you do give some grace to that, because everybody wants the same goal, right? Everybody wants this woman to have a healthy baby. But at what point do you say to the mother-in-law, "Hey, it's beyond the time"? Do you say that? I think that might be a fair question. Do you say that? We're talking from the inbox, and this new father is saying that while he loves his mother-in-law, I always say mother-in-law, but he said while he loves his mother-in-law, it's time for her to go home, that she has helped. The daughter is back on her feet. She's starting to get into the swing of first motherhood. And now the mother is kind of switching up, saying, "Okay, this is how you should do this. This is how you should raise the baby. This is what you should do," which that might happen for a first-time mom. A mother might try to do that. But she's also telling the husband, "Okay, your food is too salty. As a matter of fact, I couldn't get out the salt, so I threw out the dinner. Don't cook such salty food. Do this. You should do this. You should do this." And maybe her intent is to be helpful, but the husband's feeling a kind of way for what he thought would be a month or 2 that's turned in closer to 5. What should he do? His wife bursts into tears and says, "I'm not telling her, you tell her." She is helping him and his wife through what was potentially a very traumatic situation. I think that's great. Cedric Jones, thank you, sir, for coming. I hope you will click, share, and tag someone. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. As a woman, even though she's not the one pregnant, she is going to bond with child, as well as develop a bond with her daughter as she loves her through this. Yes. I don't disagree with that. I don't know, I think you raised some great points. I'm wondering, however, is there a time frame in which um, they should come to some terms and agreement that mother should go home to her husband, because she has also been away from her husband, and he's said, hey, I'm not getting in that. So, you know, he may understand something that others don't, that this is, you know, one of the, this is her first child. I'll say that without trying to give away too much anonymity. Plus, he obviously can't cook. Now, I don't know, Greg Thomas. I don't know if he can't cook. I think maybe the mother says that. Now, I don't know. I don't know, you know, what your experience is. I can think of my dear mother, bless her memory. There are things that I could cook that she would say were pretty good, but she could probably always say a little smidget of this, a little smidget less of that. So I don't know if that were the case, but you know how when someone is trying to take care of someone, they go the extra mile and sometimes could go a little overboard. You know, I think maybe throwing the food out might be overboard. I think that might be a little overboard. I don't know. I want to hear from you, whether you're joining us live from the Love and Stuff page or the Marcus R. Holmes page or Twitch TV or YouTube events. Welcome, as we're from the inbox where this gentleman, he and his wife have been trying for 5 years to have a baby, and they finally had a baby boy. But along that journey, his wife had to be put on bed rest. They experienced several, I think 4 miscarriages. So she was placed on bed rest, and her mother came from quite a distance, he says. And she stepped right in and was caregiving and cooking and cleaning and helping out, allowing him to still work, but spend some time at home as well, and help to care for his wife. They had the baby. She had the baby, however you want to say that. And she had some complications that she needed a little bit more downtime, the wife, right? So the mother stayed, okay? But after a point when new mother is starting to bond with baby and she's strong enough to do that, mother-in-law is still a little overbearing. And so the question is there a boundary that you set when the time initially that you have for the in-law to stay has expired, and you feel that the need for which that in-law had come has come to an end? That need has been fulfilled. How do you have that conversation with a mother who is excited that her daughter has had her first child after several miscarriages? How do you say to that mother, it's time for you to go, it's time for you to move out? And I use move out because 5 months, or at least close to 5 months, is pretty a long time. I think if you were squatting, you'd have some standing. So 5 months is quite a while for a mother-in-law to be away from her husband who lives in another state. So what's that conversation like? What should you do when your wife says, I'm not going to tell her, you tell her, and burst into tears? I want to hear from you. Thank you, Ronald Kisner, for joining us. And those of you that are joining us, whether you're on the Marcus R. Holmes page or Love and Stuff or Twitch TV or YouTube events, we're so grateful that you're here. Speaking of grateful, as we take a quick break, the Gratefulness Journey every day is available on Amazon. What are you doing in the next 30 days to transform your life? You can get the paperback. It's a short read, 70 pages, but it'll transform your life. Ebook, you can get it on Amazon, Kobo, Barnes & Noble, and also from our Love and Stuff community. And we have a couple of authors. Valencia Etner has written a book, Little Fires Everywhere, Pandemic, Protests, Politics, and Power. You want to get that book as well. All right. So I want to ask a couple of questions. Because from the inbox discussion, he never had any issues with his mother-in-law. No issues until the mother-in-law, he felt, was feeling like she was going to be displaced. Then she started to become nitpicky, is his estimation of it. It wasn't until his wife started to get back on her feet and started to really feel like she could bond with the baby and everything, that the mother started to become what he characterizes as nitpicky, and started to tell the daughter, this is how you're supposed to hold the baby. This is how you're supposed to do this, which I think is not uncommon probably for a mother to tell a new mother, her daughter, just in the way of helping. But that time can be a very sacred time where a husband and wife would do bonding with their own child. And so the mother may sense that this time is coming to an end. And so she kind of, as the inbox writer says, switches up some. So she switches up a little bit and she starts to become, from his estimation, nitpicky to the point where she's tossing out food, or at least tossed out one dinner that she said he prepared that was far too salty. She tried to doctor it up and she tossed it out. Greg Thomas. I think that might be a reach, Greg Thomas, that his salty food probably caused those miscarriages. I think that might be a reach. I mean, it's not, it's not out of the realm of possibility, but it might be a reach. So you're certainly highly of the opinion that he should pray and get himself together. I'm getting that strong sense. And so I want to hear from the rest of you. And maybe you're feeling like Greg. You're saying, hey, he has no reason to complain. She's there to help. And when she's done helping, that's that. Or is this a situation where, okay, Top of the Good News joined us, Michelle Anderson, Nicole Gray, Nikki Heath. I'm sorry, I didn't see all of these folks that are coming in on through the Love and Stuff page. Thank you for joining. I hope you will click, share, and tag someone to join us. Marjorie Tingle is joining us. Thank you so much. And so I want to ask this question, and Greg, I think, has a strong opinion about it, but I want to hear from the rest of you as well. If you set a parameter, a time frame for a mother-in-law who is coming to assist with your wife who is on bed rest, and you all set a time frame of 1 month or 2 months, when you go beyond that time frame, how would you go about setting boundaries or communicating to that mother-in-law about it's time to wrap it up? When you and if you and your wife come to an agreement, ladies, you and your husband come to an agreement that you can handle it from here, how do you have that conversation with a mother who is excited, who's thankful and grateful that God has brought you through these 4 miscarriages? So she's already on pins and needles, right? Because you come to similar times, right? And she stops her life, as it were, as mothers have done for centuries, right? And she comes to care for your wife, which affords you to take a little less FMLA time, a little less leave time, right? To store up some of it for the parenting leave, right? And she's there to assist and to help based on your conversations of a month or so, a month or 2. But it becomes 4 or 5 months. What's the conversation that you would have with your mother-in-law? I'm interested to hear from you. What's the conversation you would have? He needs to have his wife slap him in the face as hard as she can. Okay. And so, Greg, the next question that I'm trying to get you to answer, because I think I feel how I'm hearing how you feel. That way he'll know her mom is about to feel when they ask her to leave. Okay. So, Greg, you don't think that she should be asked to leave at any point? Should she be able to stay until she's ready to go? Is that kind of what, I don't want to come to the wrong conclusion on what you're saying, but are you saying that she should? I'm not sure what you're saying. Okay. Let's put the chat overlay there so you can see it. Did it come up? Okay, I don't know if it did. All right, let's see if we can get that chat overlay there. So we can have your comments across channels there. Okay. Because I want to make sure I'm following. All right, let's go. Okay. Yes, I do, but 5 months. So that's what I'm asking. At what point, what's the conversation like? What's the conversation like? Those of you that are on the Love and Stuff, what's the conversation like? He has never met a woman before. Does he know how women work? Has he never met a woman before? Does he know how women work? So my question, I haven't gotten the answer. I'm just trying to find out, Greg. So here's my question, and I'm going to ask it of you and others as well that are across platforms. What is the conversation like? What's the conversation like? What advice would you give him about the conversation that he should have, to the extent that he can, not offend the mother, but kind of encourage her, nudge her, gingerly mention to her that we're winding out this engagement. We're winding out this stay. That's my question. Mom, I will try to adjust my cooking because I can't thank you enough for what you've done. Okay. And so, Greg, the question is, these are wonderful comments, but I'm trying to get you to come on in with the answer to this question, as well as any of the others that are across platforms. What's the conversation like with the mother-in-law? Is it fair to say that he should have it because he's the most ready for her to go? Should it be a conversation that he and his wife have together with her mother? And what's that conversation like? What would you advise a person from the inbox that he should be saying to his mother-in-law, with his wife or without his wife? Because the wife says, you tell her, and she bursts into tears. So she understands from his estimation that it is time for her mother to wind it out, but she doesn't want to be the one to say it to her mother. She doesn't want to hurt her mother's feelings for all that has been done. Okay. However, although we love you eternally for your help, me and wife are needed space to adjust to the addition to our family. Okay. Okay. I like that. I like that. I like that. And Greg, do you think that conversation should be held together, him, wife, and mother? Or do you think he should just take the lead because his wife really doesn't want to be put in that position? Do you think they should have that conversation together with the mother-in-law? Okay. So thank you for joining us. If you are with us on the Love and Stuff channel, if you're with us on the Marcus R. Holmes channel, I see some of you are on both. Twitch TV, thank you for joining us. And YouTube, thank you for joining us, which are normally overseas, and your time is a lot later in the evening. So I always appreciate you on YouTube joining us. You're always welcome here, you know that, but now we need time to test our own wings. I love it. I love it. I think this is great verbiage that our inbox person can take back in that conversation. And so Greg and others, Greg is providing us some great verbiage to that our inbox person might take back to have a conversation. Greg, what do you think? And what do you think, those of you that are joining and are watching across platforms, should this conversation be had with the couple and the mother? Or should the husband take the wife's advice and just have the conversation? Should he be the heavy so that his wife doesn't have to be? All right. Hey there, Tabitha Goodner. I believe this is a group conversation. However, clarity of the intention and what precipitated this stance should be explored by the new parents. All right. I love it. I love it. I love it. Then he needs to get on the 405 freeway and jump out of his moving car, Greg. So I don't think we want to tell people in the inbox to jump out of their moving car. That wouldn't be kind of love. I don't think that's kind of love. That's kind of the stuff. But I appreciate it. I don't think that's the advice we want him to take back. You know, he might watch this and we want to encourage him to do the right thing. And I don't know that we really need anybody else to leave here before any time. But I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I do appreciate it. And so I'm going to go back. Tabitha, talk to me a little bit more. Clarity of intention. I think from the conversation that there was an initial conversation, right? Oh, please come help us. It'll only be a month or two. And because this mother-in-law was so excited because this couple have been trying so hard, this is their first child. She's so excited to be a part. They forgot as conditions changed, to have different conversations, right? So it wasn't just the normal delivery, I'll say that much. And so the wife needed a little bit more recovery time. And so at that point, there wasn't a conversation about, we might need you a few more, weeks or months, let's see how this goes. And once she's able to nurse, or once she's able to whatever, then, maybe a week or so after that, I think having that conversation, what you're saying, I think is important. I think it is very important to say to the mother-in-law, we appreciate everything you've done. House will never. As she begins to get back on her feet, let's kind of wind this out. I like that he even tried to engage the father-in-law, I say, but the father-in-law said, I ain't having it. I'm not involved in that. I'm not doing that at all. Evelyn Graham has joined us. Nedra McQuarters Johnson has joined us. I thank you both for joining. I hope you will click, share, and tag 5 of your closest Facebook friends, 5 of your more popular Facebook friends, YouTube friends, Twitch TV friends to join us in the conversation. We're talking from the inbox about a gentleman who, after 5 years of trying, he and his wife were able to have a baby boy. His wife was placed on bed rest in month 7 because they experienced 4 miscarriages. Thankfully, they had a healthy baby boy. And now that the wife is getting on her feet after a couple of months, it's time for the mother-in-law, in the husband's estimation, and the wife's, it's time for her to go home. But the wife does not want to tell her mother. She tells her husband, you tell her. And she burst into tears. How should he approach it? Should he convince his wife, nah, boo, we're doing this together? Or does he be the heavy and have a conversation, the kind of conversation that, if you read the comments, that Greg Thomas has some beautiful words right up to the point when he said, jump on the 405 and jump out the car. Not that part of it, Greg. But everything you said before that, I think, was very good. And I appreciate it. I do. All right. Father in love was smart. This is what Brenda Bracewell, I love you completely. I miss you too. I miss you. I really do. This is what a wise man once told me, bless his memory. He said, you want to learn how to stay happy married? He says, learn how to say yes, dear. He used to tell me that all the time, bless his memory. And so I think he was smart. Are you sure the wife is ready? I don't think the wife is scared for the mother to leave. I think the wife is scared to tell the mother to leave, right? Because she feels indebted to the mother. But the wife has said to the husband, remarked to the husband about the mother telling her about how talking about nursing and talking about different things that she thought was a bit intrusive, but she wasn't going to tell her mama that. Because after all, this was her first baby and her mom was just trying to help. So I think the wife is ready to try. She's not ready to say it to her mother. I think he is in offense, and I didn't hear her stance, even though she said, you tell her. Yeah. Indebted, the mom offered, correct? The mom did offer to come. Yes. But I think they needed as much of her to come as she offered, right? So she said, I'll be there, no problem. And they did fully use that mom, not use her, but she was caregiving, cooking, cleaning, which afforded him the opportunity to still work and store some of that leave time and save it for parenting time. So that's why she feels indebted. Importance of always having an end game. Yes, I love that. I love that. And I think, Brenda, when you have that end game, in case the end game changes, because in this case it kind of did, which I think you kind of have a contingency, I think, in this, because they have had such trouble having a baby with 4 miscarriages. And so things could go wrong, or complications could happen where they might need some help a little bit longer. So I think that part of the discussion is important to have. It's established that she came to assist until delivery, correct? He said 1 or 2 months. And so at the bed rest time, which was into the 7th month, it would be to delivery, but she had complications and needed assistance beyond that time. So after delivery, about 2 months after delivery, okay, she was feeling fully ready to be mommy and fully ready to nurse and all of the things that she would do, right? And so maybe the mother wasn't ready to acquiesce to that, right? Don't involve the wife. She's finally able to celebrate victory over miscarriage. Now, yeah, I think you're saying don't involve the wife in the discussion, because I think they both are celebrating the victory over miscarriage. I would, I didn't get the opportunity to have that discussion, Greg, to say, how has the miscarriage taken a toll on both of you? It's certainly taken a toll on the wife, mind, body, and soul, probably, but it's probably taken a toll on the husband too. So they both are trying to celebrate their victory over miscarriage, and they got to say something sensitive to the person who's helped them in a very critical time, right? And I'm wondering if you all feel like Greg, hey, maybe he should take the lead and be the heavy. What do you think? Stephen Rice has joined us. He says, get out. Oh, Lord, have mercy. Oh, Lord, have mercy, Stephen and Greg. Lord, have mercy. Well, Stephen, I want to ask you, would you really just say get out if your mother-in-law, and you may have a keen perspective on mother-in-laws, but your mother-in-law came from states away to help you and your wife, knowing that it was a sensitive time because your wife is on bed rest after having had 4 miscarriages over your 5-year marriage. So now your mother-in-law is coming to help out, and you've never had any problem with her before. Okay. Really, you didn't have any problem with her until you surmise that it's time for her to go. And she's sensing that she isn't as needed is what you think is happening, right? Dolores and Michelle Archibald, it's been a million Sundays. Welcome back to Love and Stuff. I'm so glad that you are here. Greg says, go listen to Shirley Caesar sing That's My Mama. What I'm going to do, y'all. And we're talking from the inbox, Dolores and others, of a gentleman who, thankfully, he and his wife successfully brought their baby to full term and birth, baby boy. Over the course of their 5-year marriage, they have had 4 miscarriages. And so when the wife was placed on bed rest in month 7, the mother came, volunteered to come, and they were happy to have her come, to stay for a couple of months. 1 or 2 months is what it was. Well, the wife had some complications and did need some assistance beyond that time. But after 2 months after the pregnancy, she was fine, from her estimation, ready to be mommy, right? And the mother-in-law didn't appear to be so ready to let this caregiving angel role go. And so both the wife and the husband, so the daughter and her husband, are ready for the mother-in-law, I'll keep saying mother-in-law, ready for her to go home to her husband. Okay? She got a husband. Okay? But the wife, I'm not sure how to. And the husband feels like, hey, we had an incident where she threw out my food and called it salty, that I cooked food, went on to work, came back, ready to eat it. She called it salty, threw it out. That was his impetus, I think, to say, okay, you really got to go. And so how do you have that conversation? Greg gave us some good stuff. I want to hear more from you. Thank you, Rondell Murray, for joining us. And whether you are like Rondell joining us on Facebook, or if you are joining us on Twitch TV or YouTube, I hope that you will click share and tag 5 of your closest connections or Facebook friends or YouTube followers or Twitch followers, 5 of the more popular, to join in this discussion about a new father who thinks that his mother-in-law, I say mother-in-law, has outstayed her welcome. Would you be able to tell your mother? I think Stephen would. I'm not sure Greg would, but Stephen would say, get out. Would you be ready to say to your mother-in-law, it's time? It's time to make that plain. How would you handle that? Rebecca Martin has joined us. Thank you so much. I hope you will click share in that Love and Stuff community. And while you are populating comments and clicking share, I want to invite you to go to the Love and Stuff page if you're not there already. Go under groups and join our newest group, which is inside of Love and Stuff, so that you'll get to meet the people in Love and Stuff, and not just the Tuesday nights when we come together at 8:30 to 9:30 Eastern Standard Time, but get to meet some of the people who are in the Love and Stuff community. There are almost 4,000 of us, and I would love for you to come and just get to meet some people. You'd be surprised at the wonderful, gifted, anointed, talented, funny, kind, rambunctious, I'm running out of words that I'm going to say, people that are in our community. And our goal is to increase the amount of love in the world. We are not a perfect representation of that love, but we believe the love that comes from God from above, He's designed for us to love Him back, reciprocate that love ourselves, and then love others. And so if you're on any of those journeys, if you're on any of those pathways, the Love and Stuff community is a place for you, and you're welcome to come and to join us. Just click follow on the page, go under groups, and join inside Love and Stuff. All right. Mill, we really appreciate you coming and shouldering the load with us. This has been a tumultuous ride, and we are, mother-in-law, this is what you're telling us. Okay. This has been a tumultuous ride, and we are so thankful that we have our baby boy. We are thankful that mom is mending and healing well. You have lightened up our stresses. We now have to figure out what this load feels like as new parents to this baby boy. It would be excessive for us to expect you to stay with us much longer. I love that. See, Greg, between the two of you, you all have wordsmithed this. I love it. Oh, Rebecca, aren't you just the kindest? God bless you too. Thank you so much. Click share, tag someone. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And it's great that you stopped through. I hope that you will click share. And Rebecca, I know you have great love for your family, great love for your grandmother. You told me wonderful stories. Let's just hypothesize. Let's say that you were married, had your first child, and your mother has stayed for almost 5 months. And you and your husband are ready for her to go. She's helped you through a tough time, as you've heard Tabitha write so eloquently. Do you think it would be something you would rather your husband tell your mother? Would you all tell your mother together? As I think Tabitha is saying, Greg's saying a little different. I think Stephen is saying just say get out. So I think we got a broad spectrum of responses. So I'm just curious for Dolores, if you're here, Rondell, if you're here, Rebecca, how would you have that conversation? And would you give it over to your husband, or would you, because it's your parent, want to have that conversation? I'd love to hear from you. Drop your comments in the chat so that we can hear your comments. Arnaldo El Maestro Jimenez. Thank you, doctor, for coming. You don't have this situation. It's not your situation, but I would love to ask you, because you have a newborn, one of Love and Stuff's first babies, I think, out east. And how would you handle if Gabby's mother came to live with you all to help you care for Gabby, who was having some complications, but 5 months came and you felt like it was time for your mother-in-law to go? How does that conversation go, Arnaldo? Thank you for joining us. I hope you will click share and tag someone, 5 of your closest Facebook friends, 5 of your more popular Facebook friends to join in the discussion. And if you are on Twitch TV or YouTube events, 5 of your followers or YouTubers to join us in the discussion. All right. So I'd be interested to hear from you, Arnaldo, if you are still here. I know you dipped in. You have a brand new baby. Congratulations. Beautiful baby. How would you feel if it's been um, so your wife Gabby's on bed rest from month 7 to month 8.5 or 9. She has the baby, and then 3 or 4 months your mom is still mother-in-law still around, and both you and Gabby are kind of saying we're good. How would you have that conversation? Because if it were Gabby's mother, would you want her to have the conversation, or would you have it kind of as Tabitha has written, which I think was one of the 2 so far kind of responses that I think from our inbox they can glean and maybe use some of the actual words if they choose to, or the spirit of the language that's written there. It's at this point where the husband's true role comes to the forefront. I think you're probably saying, what is his true role in this? What's his true role in this? I'm interested to hear that. He has to take on the stress his wife might otherwise endure, plus make peace in his home. Got it. So he's the thermostat in this situation, you say. He's got to step up. Mm-hmm. I think you raised a great point. Where some people might, some husbands might take on that role. Some husbands might insist that their wife is a part of it, so it won't seem like it's a wedge. There's no opportunity to put any wedge in between it. We are united front, right? And so we come together with humility and candor and empathy and kindness, as I think what you've seen written by both of you. Some would say we need to be a united front in this so that she understands while I am speaking, it's coming from the both of us. And maybe or maybe not, she would understand that with just one person. But if 2 are present, I think that united front might speak, oh, you both feel this way. And it might brush her feelings, right? It might rub her some kind of way because she's just there to help. And I can only imagine how excited she might be for them having this first child, right? Her grandchild, not her first, but having this first child, the 2 of them. And after having tried so hard. So I could see her being excited and wanting to be involved. And so I think anybody should be empathetic to that she may have grown attached to being there, right? It may give her some purpose outside of the purpose that's waiting at home. She is a husband, but it might give her some renewed purpose to help. And so I could see it could, brush your feelings. So I think it's something that you do delicately. He's the lightning rod. Okay. All right. I love that. Okay. If there are to be hard feelings, he needs to shoulder those to preserve the bond between her and her amazing, priceless mother. And I think he can probably, I'm thinking, Greg, tell me how you feel about this and others. I'm thinking because she has this amazing, priceless mother, and she probably has an amazing, priceless relationship with her mother, that he can probably leverage that by having her present. He might be able to leverage that. He may have a relationship with her mother, but he may not have the one, right, that his wife has. So he might be able to leverage that by having her present, because it might again come off as this is just him. And you wouldn't want that. Joyce Martin has joined us. Thank you so much. Both in a loving, godly, compassionate way. I love that. Thank you, Joyce. A loving, godly, compassionate way. Yes. And I don't know if you've had a chance. I know you're just joining us. If you look in the comments, Tabitha Goodner has written one. If you look on I don't know if you can see it from the streaming, trying to make sure everybody can see everybody's comments. A beautiful, almost said speech, Tabitha, but a beautiful example that I believe the person from our inbox can share with his mother-in-law. I have a little bit of a different opinion than Greg. I would say together. I would want them to be together because one, a united front, and 2, because he might be able to leverage the relationship that she has with her mother. And if he leans into that, I think it may be a softer blow. I wouldn't take that risk, even if my wife wanted. Being a husband ain't always easy. He needs to put on his big boy panties. Yeah, I believe that's a great point. I disagree with that in this regard. I don't know if it's about being the big boy to me. I think it's about handling people with empathy, understanding where they're coming from, and leveraging relationships that you might be able to more gingerly lay out news that might not be welcomed or expected news. You would think this mother in love is expecting to go home at some point, but you really don't know that. And so if you can lay that news out gingerly, and that wife has that mother-daughter relationship where her presence might add to that peace, her presence might add to that empathy, I think you leverage that in the conversation. Got it. You're not suggesting he be the heavy of the bully, just that he take the lead. I get it. I didn't mean to misspeak it or misread it. I think you meant he should take the lead by putting, buck up and take the lead. Not deliver it in a bully way, but that he should buck up and take the lead. And I kind of just disagree. I think because probably the relationship is stronger between the mother and her daughter, he can leverage that. And it will come across more empathetic if he's able to. Philip PD Patrick. I'm going to get it right, Philip. Thank you for joining us. I hope you will click share and tag someone to join us. All right, so we're at 9:21. And we've been talking over this hour about From the Inbox, which is, I think, an amazing place sometimes to be. And here's why I think that. Some of the people in and around on the periphery of Love and Stuff are like you and me, aware that we could have more love in our relationships, in our lives, in our relationship with God, in our relationship with self, which I think is the neglected love, I call it, and our relationship with others. And sometimes we don't have a place where we can really throw those ideas out there without judgment or fear. And so that's one of the things I love about that inbox, that people trust us to have the kind of conversations where we may not agree with what someone is doing or their position, but we might offer them a different perspective. And so if anybody's had a good relationship with your mother-in-law or father-in-law and a not so good relationship, you probably have lessons that you could share with this person in the inbox about how you maintain, build, deepen those relationships. And really, if you think about it, that's largely what our journey is about. It's about building, connecting, and deepening relationships. And if you think about it that way, you might navigate it a little different to say, how can I deepen the connection here that I value, that my wife values, that our family values? And in deepening that connection, I can scale that connection, right? Because at some point, this beautiful baby boy is going to adore his grandmother and she will adore him. Adore his grandfather and he will adore him. And so you are able to scale that relationship if you take an empathetic route with the mother-in-law so that she isn't feeling ostracized from this baby of her new affection, right? And that's what I think that you can get from the inbox, and you can get from the Love and Stuff community, the opportunity to look at your relationships and say, how can I deepen them? How can I scale them? How can I build them? How can I repair them? They're all imperfect because we are imperfect. The only thing in them that comes from perfect is the love. Brenda Moraney has joined us. Thank you so much, Brenda, for coming. I hope you will click, share, and tag someone. He needs to find the words and compassion to fit this situation in a loving, selfless way. See, Tabitha said some things, and I hope that Tabitha won't take this wrong. I don't think she is. That's my sister. A woman can say some things to a mother in a way that a man cannot. A woman can say some things in a way that most men cannot, right? And the men can say vice versa. But there is a way you can find the words, but somebody else might be able to deliver them better. And if there's already a relationship there, see, I believe relationships are about, somebody told me it's 4 C's, I say 3. They are about conversations. You got to talk, you got to communicate. Connections. You have to have some commonality upon which you keep having conversations and you connect. And then convictions. Convictions, I say, is when you get to know who somebody really is and what they believe and what they stand for and what they're about. And so I believe it's, the path is like this. It's it's not a straight line. It's not straight linear. It's not a straight line, but that's the path in general. And so in your relationships, if you're connected to someone or you're at a deeper place where you have conviction, you understand their convictions, then you understand how to have conversations where convictions are involved. And the person that's most successful in doing that is the person that knows you best. And I'm just saying you should leverage that person so that it lands in a way that doesn't offend. Okay? Her mother-in-law's contributions were invaluable and necessary for how we've arrived at the inbox topic. I'm grateful that everyone's feelings are being strongly considered. Nevertheless, Dad and Mom have also made invaluable contributions in allowing this to happen for the betterment of the family. The bond is beautiful. This bond is beautiful. This just needs to be nurtured. Great point. Thank you so much. Craig says, I hated my mother-in-law, but she never knew that. Interesting. She literally thought I adored her. It wasn't until after my divorce that she knew how dead I wish she was. We got some love to work on there, don't we? We got some love, Greg. Well, okay. I understand that. I will say to that at 9:27, Greg, that your experience is unique in that very few people occupy the same space as you or I or anyone and not feel the limbic resonance of their energy toward them, no matter how you seek to mask it. Yours is unique. Most people, when they are liked or not liked, feel it before they know it. Okay? So it would be very unique to not know how someone feels about you because your limbic resonance is sending energy, literally. You can be civil, you can be kind, you can be courteous, but your limbic resonance, your body's energy, your emotional energy is telling people how you feel about them without you ever saying it. And they may not immediately recognize what they're feeling, but they feel it first before they then cogitate or think about what it is. So you are a unicorn in that regard. In most cases, people would feel, you hear people say, I felt away. I'm feeling some kind of way. It's because the limbic resonance, it's always speaking. We're created to always be speaking because we're created from a God who's always in movement and motion from his heart, from his love in this world. And we like him, not him. I don't believe we're gods, but we like him before we speak, we've moved. And even when we're still, we're moving because our limbic resonance is speaking. So Eric Henderson has joined us. Thank you, sir, for coming through. Love and Stuff. We're at 9:29. What a great show. I'm just going to hit the comments before we prepare to leave. A couple things I want to invite you to. I want to invite you to go to Amazon, of course, and purchase The Gratefulness Journey every day. What are you doing in the next 30 days to transform your life? It's available on Amazon, also on Kobo and Barnes & Noble. Tabitha, I need your book as well. Ingrid, I need your book as well if you watch this later. Little Fires Everywhere, Pandemic, Protests, Politics, and Power. Valencia Etner, Mama V from our community, is one of the authors. You want to get this book. Both of those are available. And before you close your night out, I want you to go to the Love and Stuff page. If you're not watching us from there, click follow and click groups and join inside of Love and Stuff. It's our newest group in Love and Stuff because we want you to meet some of the other almost 4,000 people in our group so that we can begin to share some of the experiences a little bit away from the format of the show. And you'll be surprised at the wonderful, amazing, rambunctious, intelligent, creative, anointed, gifted, talented, intelligent, sexy, all of those things are in Love and Stuff. And we want you to come and take advantage of that, not take advantage of people, but take advantage of the community and meet some new people, meet some of the people in our Love and Stuff community. Just before we go, did you know Love and Stuff has a new show? Love and Stuff has a new show called Sports Talk with Kamau and Felix. Kamau Williams is our associate producer here at Love and Stuff, and Felix Holmes is his co-host. And these sports heads have an amazing time every other Saturday, coming up this Saturday at 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, right here on Love and Stuff in the Love and Stuff community. And they would love for you to join them. Now, ladies, if you're saying, but I don't like sports, that's your problem. No. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to consider that the love that you're looking for may be on a pathway and he may be into sports. Okay? Just work with me for a second. And you may be looking away if you're at the starters restaurant with him or a sports bar because you're not really into it. But he wants you to be able to enjoy some of the things that he enjoyed, just like you want him to enjoy that Lifetime movie and sit there and watch it with you. You know what I'm talking about, ladies? That scary movie where you grab him. That movie we say, no, she didn't. You want him to watch those movies. Come learn a little bit about sports. They're talking not just basketball, not just football. They talk all sports so that when you are having conversations with him, you'll know what to talk about. And then you'll have something good to talk about at halftime. Okay? So join us Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Of course, the fellas are coming, they're trash talking, and I think you'll love it. And Kamau does a decent job of sharing kicking knowledge and sharing insight about sports. And of course, Felix is a sports head too. So join them at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time this Saturday right here. And I want to thank you. I see there are other folks that have joined. Jan Holmes Boyd has joined us. Thank you so much. Brenda Gibbs Austin has joined us. Jody Weaver has joined us. I hope all of you will click share. Go back and watch this from the top. This is great insight from our inbox. And if you have a topic that you'd like for us to broach on Love and Stuff, go to the Love and Stuff inbox now. Drop your topic in. Let us know whether or not you want us to discuss it with you present here live with me, or if you want to maintain some anonymity. We do both. And why do we do that? So that people don't feel like they are being judged for their opinions, their lives, and things that they're doing. If your desire is to increase the amount of love in your world and therefore in all of the world, you need to be open to the fact that there are other options besides the ones that you are now employing. And if there are options that will work better for you, that will bring more love of God into your life, more love in your life for God, more love in your life for self, more love in your life for others, why not come and hear different perspectives without judgment and be able to glean from them something that might transform and bless your love life? Most people hear love and they think about the amorous love. I got to get my boo, my bae, my honey, my love, right? But some of you are on a path to have more love for your parents, more love for your children, more love for your coworkers, more love for your siblings. If you're on a path to increase the amount of love in your world and then in the entire world, the Love and Stuff community is a great place to start. I'm Marcus Holmes. I'm excited that you've come. I hope that you will click share and tag someone to join us. We're here each Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And the topics are sometimes I think they call them provocative, salacious, but all of the topics are in the hope that you and I can increase the amount of love in the world. Have a wonderful Tuesday. I'll see you soon.